What's up, folks? Before we get into the episode, we just wanted to say thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thanks for being here. We are changing the name of the podcast. We wanted to give you some warning. Sea Otter Town Hall is going to be called Troublemakers. It's going to be a new name to the podcast. It's either going to be next week or the week after. We're just waiting on some graphics and new artwork that we're going to be putting up, and then changing the name of the pod and the YouTube and all that stuff. So it's going to be a new name, but we wanted to give you a warning so that you didn't come on and be like, where's Sea Otter Town Hall? What the hell is Troublemakers? Going to be the same pod, don't worry. Same, me and Mike here with a guest every single week, talking crazy stories, having fun. But yeah, that's going to be changing in like 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks. I'm not sure. Yeah. So when it shows up as Troublemakers, it's still us, baby.
Yep. Hit us up in the comments. Same stuff.
Same stuff, baby. We like the comments. Anything else?
No, that's it.
That's it. Let's get into the episode.
All right.
Welcome back, everybody, to Sea Otter Town Hall, the podcast where every week our guests come on and tell stories from the craziest times in their lives. I'm your host, Dylan Krasinski. With me, as always, is my co-host, the indispensable Mike T. Kerrigan, everybody.
I thought it was incomparable, but we'll roll with that.
I change it every episode, right, you know? Good. I got a thesaurus of a mind.
Yeah, put it in the comments what you guys like better.
Great adjectives from Michael Kerrigan, okay?
For the guy who's threatening Dylan, keep up the good work.
Yeah, we'll get into that, dude. Yeah. We'll get into that. As always, rate, review, and subscribe. Thank you for being here. Episodes are out every single Wednesday. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram for clips, YouTube, Apple Pods, and Spotify for all the audio versions. And yeah, that's pretty much it, right? Yeah. Let's get into the episode. Our guest today, very funny, Boston comedian who now is in LA comedian. Guys, put your hands together and welcome the very funny
Chow Ying Summers. How's it going, everybody?
Handren Seavey, everybody. Oh my God. How are you, dude?
I'm doing excellent.
Very happy to have you here. It's been, we were just saying this when you got in, years since we've seen each other.
At least 3 or 4 years, yeah. I've been out on the West Coast dominating, and you've been here setting up an empire. I like to see all this happening.
Yeah.
There it is, just slowly, one episode at a time, setting up the empire.
White guys.
That's, this is what we got to be. If we weren't, we'd be on Comedy Central, but we're here on my couch. So that's what it is.
I bet you don't even get Comedy Central, do you?
No, I don't. We don't get cable.
No, here. This doesn't look like a cable type of place.
You read that perfectly, dude. We have Netflix, which is borrowed from my roommate's ex-girlfriend. I have it on my computer from my brother.
It's a leisurely use of the word borrow.
It's stealing, I guess,
Stolen. I think it's just taken at this point.
That's true.
It's on active. It's great to be here. I love this part of town. This is the first time way out here.
In Bushwick?
Yeah, deep Bushwick. I got here like an hour early and walked the street and got to see gentrification happening. Saw 2 white girls unpacking trucks with their dads as angry black people watched.
That is very accurate for what Bushwick is. I completely agree. There's the part of Bushwick that is here though. There's it's only half gentrified, where people have moved in, but the neighborhood hasn't changed at all.
Yeah. And it will, but yeah, it's you can see it building by building too. Ones crumble, they build these new things that you're like, that's not a building that would look like it's here.
I walk by a building and I'm like, I wouldn't want to live there. And then the next one, I'm like, holy shit, that's a beautiful, you can see through the windows.
Yeah.
I don't like when they're doing construction and you can see right through the window and you're like, I want to live there. It's like the opposite of a city bus. Mm-hmm. You look through the windows on the city bus, you're like, I'm glad I'm not on that. But here I'm like, I wish I was in that.
There's a condemned building down the street. I forget which way, but it looks like it's about to fall apart and it's got all tape around it. I want to buy it, knock it down, build a 3-story single studio apartment, and just all windows for one bed. Everybody can look in, see what, and just have white women doing trapeze. And I think that would be a good addition to this neighborhood. It really.
That's the one thing we're missing is trapeze. Really, circus-like activities. That's what we
that's
don't
coming.
have.
That's next because they need big open space, so they'll buy a bunch of the old like abandoned, warehouse buildings or some shit.
I think a neighborhood's totally gentrified when people are juggling outside. That's really,
when they feel safe. Mm-hmm. That's when they feel safe to let everybody know it's gentrified. I'm a juggler too. I'm an avid juggler.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
I can juggle too.
I feel like you actually can't juggle, Dylan.
Me? Dude, I'm going to juggle right after. That's going on the Patreon.
After.
Me just juggling.
I'll juggle. I'll out juggle.
What?
How'd you get in?
Me? I took lessons.
Oh, so you're a legit juggler.
Yeah.
How did you bullshit with your little juggling too?
I taught myself how to juggle by in a
matter.
book. Dude, I know how to juggle. If I had 3 balls right now, I would juggle sitting here.
To be fair, I knew before going into the lessons, but I wanted to master that shit.
Can you do the bowling pins?
Yeah, they're called clubs, but yeah, I can do those.
Really?
I can do 3 and I can pass with 3. I can't do 4 clubs. I can do 4 balls and a bunch of tricks with 3 balls.
Damn. Okay, well, after the episode, we're definitely have to do a juggling demonstration. That's wild.
Yeah, I was like 12, and I went to this guy Mike Micklin in Buckfield, Maine. He was a circus guy, and he was an amazing juggler, and he taught juggling. He had 2 guys. I forget what their names were. Matt and Jason Tardy, who were brothers who juggled all over the world as, on fucking shows. They did like the White House and shit like that. They taught with him, and me and my friend took it like 10 to 12 because we thought they were the fucking coolest dudes in town. And it turns out they were, because everybody else is still there.
Dude, that is a very Maine thing, I feel like. Is like, what's the coolest thing we could do? Maine, juggle. Let's do it.
It was one of those things where you're like, I was always like one of those out of the, I skateboarded. Even when I played team sports, I played soccer, but I was a goalie. I like doing the things that's
solo.
Yeah. I liked solo pursuits, and I liked, not having to follow rules, kind of making up your own rules. And juggling seemed like, I don't know. I think small towns are populated by CTE because of football, and kids hit their head enough in high school that they don't think to leave there. And that's what keeps most small towns populated, because otherwise you would leave. I would, like, especially where I grew up, you're just growing up in the time we grew up into, and you had access to everything else. You're like, why wouldn't you want to get the fuck out of here, even just for a little bit? Mm-hmm. So many kids just boom, stayed there, got pregnant.
Where in Maine?
A little town called Harrison, Maine. It's like about an hour northwest of Portland.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's really up there.
Yeah, it was like a half hour from North Conway, New Hampshire, on the Maine-New Hampshire border, up in the hills.
Oh, damn. Okay. What was it like growing up there? What kind of town? Small town?
It was small town. Our town was oddly idyllic. Like what's that guy's name? That Rockwell painting, because we had 2 lakes.
Oh yeah, isn't he from like that area, like Vermont,
Western Mass?
Is he? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we had a lot of tax money, so our town looked nice. But still, plenty of people found ways to do oxys and shit. And the towns around ours were all way more depressed because they were like old mill towns and shit, and they didn't have 2 lakes with a bunch of lake houses from people from out of state or anything.
Okay. What kind of what was your childhood like growing up? Did you have like strict parents? Were they kind of like free and loose, kind of?
Bob and Jill were on the outs, I would say, as parents go. I mean, they weren't bad. I grew up on a farm, so I was a child slave. Shit. Yeah, and I did not ask for it. They forced it upon me and everything. I know I was a slave because once I left, and I was the youngest of 3 boys. Once we all left, they bought machines to do all the shit that we used to do. And you're just like, you fucking bought a plow and you bought a tractor, and we used to do all that shit by hand. I was driving at 6. I learned to drive at 6. Yeah, killed a chicken at 6 too.
Ooh, that's intense.
No, we did it outside.
Sounds like a.
That's when we learned how. You had to fucking slit the throat.
6. That's a real ritual. It's just like 6 years old, get outside, and oh god.
Yeah.
Were you like scared to do it, or you just fucking?
I can't recall. The chicken, I was like ready. Chicken wasn't bad. We didn't kill the sheep, but we had to bring him to the butcher. That was a little devastating, I want to say.
I've heard that when you live on a farm, you can't name your animals.
Found that out the next year. Yeah.
Yeah, because you get too attached, and then it's like, nope, it's time to eat for the winter. Oh, man.
Where'd you start comedy? You started in Maine or you started in Boston?
In Maine, in Portland.
Okay, yeah, I've been to Portland a couple times. That's a pretty cool city.
Yeah, it's nice, but then once you leave, and especially you get to like a city the size of New York or LA or something, you realize it's a fucking town. It's not even a...
Yeah.
It's very... it's only like 60,000, but it seemed like the big city for me growing up.
Yeah, when I first went there, I went there to do, I think it was with Artie. I was in the Maine Comedy Fest. I got suckered into that scam. But
Up in Bethel? Or no?
That was in Portland.
Yeah, an unnamed... what's his name, Ryan? With
he's like
Mian Muert?
Yeah. He like says he's like the king of, like you'll see a poster like the king of Maine comedy. Yeah. But
that's the way like Belgium still has a king, and they're like, who is it? What happened? I think he got deposed.
I couldn't get over like, because I hadn't been to Maine. Maybe I'd been there once before. All the drug addicts in like the town center. I go, what the? I was like, there's nowhere left in this country that isn't like in an opiate crisis. There's a little like like common. And they just had a tent city. I was like, dude. And I left New York to get away from that shit.
No shit. When was this?
This was like a couple years ago, before the pandemic, for sure.
I was going to say, when they were doing that Occupy Wall Street, they, in that fucking square, I think it's like Franklin Park or something, they let people fucking cosplay there for like 6 months, and they had tents, and then they finally kicked them out.
And they were coming up to the cars. I was like, that's what really... I couldn't get over. I was like, I can't believe this is happening in Maine.
I would like to take one of those people and then put them in Skid Row in LA and be like, you think tents are fun? Here you go. Fucking, this is what tent life is really like.
Dude, so you're in LA now.
Scared straight home.
What is, that's what I wanted to ask you about too, and later, but we just happen upon it now. What is the homeless situation out? Is it as bad as it?
We don't have any homeless.
I mean, that's good.
No,
Spoken like
fine.
a true Los Angelian.
I don't know what you're talking. There's the unhoused, if that's what you're talking about.
Oh, you've been in LA for too long. I can tell, dude. Truly,
they're free range folk.
Yeah, they're just living their lives, living their truth. They're out there. And some places gotten better, some places got worse. I don't know. It's I've had to keep my block clean. That's what I know. Now that I got a kid. There've been a few on my street and my building that I've had to shoot down the street.
Move it along.
Yeah, not this block. Not
Sounds
my
like
block.
A vigilante type thing. He's like, they're gone. I don't know what happened to them, but they're gone.
Vigil, yes. I haven't had to ante yet. But no, there was one guy, I walked out of my building one day, and he was just sitting on the steps, and he had all his stuff scattered, and he was just smoking and drinking a 40, and I was like, no, gotta go, buddy. And he just looks at me and he's like, oh, but I was like, get the fuck off here, because it's like the sidewalk and then steps down into our building.
Yeah.
So it's like not even close to like public steps. It's like these are clearly for the building. And then he didn't, so I had to go back inside and get my club. I got a club. I brought it out. I opened the door. And he goes, oh, fuck, man. You have to go get weapons. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. And he gets up and he like looks at me sad one time. And I was like, go. He just walked off. Another guy was we have like next to those steps, there's like a little parking port and for guest parking. Then we have like gated parking under the building. And a guy had just set up with sleeping bag there. And I yelled at him and he didn't move. Got the club. Went down, just started banging the wall of it. So it's like 3-sided and just starts fucking echoing there. I'm like, time to go. And he fucking gets up and looks at me. And I'm like, don't even fucking look at me. Get the fuck out of here. So I keep my block clean.
That's good. That's what we need. You know what? Kerrigan's talked about this. One of the big parts, the problems of the pandemic in New York is that no one was around to keep people in check. And that sounds bad.
You guys believed in it. That was a big problem for New York, was the belief in.
Yeah, these, what was the worst idea they ever came up with? The mayor. So there's like a lot of stabbings and violence on the train. So he goes, here's the problem. It's you cowards won't get on the train. He goes, we need to flood the train with civilians. And I'm like, what is their plan? Like their arms won't be able to...
Human shields.
Yeah, he wasn't like arm yourself, or he was like, just get on there. The more of you there are, I think statistically, yeah, there's going to be less because there's like more people, but there's still the same amount of people getting
But
killed.
how many more people getting on are stabbers too? You
Yeah,
got to figure like
exactly.
if it's 1 in 100, you're adding more stabbers as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Math doesn't quite work out.
But imagine being like a politician. You're like, what's your plan for crime? Well, we're just going to add more bodies. Just keep adding bodies till the numbers even out.
I think that's what they're trying to do in downtown LA, and hopefully this layer of homeless die and become the street that they build the new Los Angeles on, much like here a lot of New York is rubble from the past.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if you're homeless out there, you are going to be the foundation of a new New York.
Yeah. They were coming in from Boston during the pandemic when they heard there was like a police shutdown, because I've seen the bums from Boston. One guy was wearing a trash bag. I think I told you this before.
Oh, yeah.
This guy that was his uniform. He was wearing a trash bag, and his buddy who just got out of jail, he had like his jail sack. He was jacked. And they were on their way to the middle of the pandemic.
I think you say buddy like they weren't fucking.
Yeah, I don't know what they were.
He's like, I'm fucking this trash bag. I just got out of jail.
But they were heading here because they heard it was lawlessness. They're like, you can do whatever you want in New York right now.
Did you see him on the trail? Where did you see him?
This is on the Lucky Star bus.
Oh, no shit.
But Lucky Star wouldn't let them on, and the cops finally came and they broke them up, and they were drinking, and they go, and they just walked them down to the Greyhound. They're like, all right, let's go. Right on to Greyhound will accept any person possible. But that was like the key. New York was like the hub of like the Northeast for like.
I think that became LA too. There's and San Francisco.
You could get a hotel room. You get a nice hotel room, Times Square. You get the little money package.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Dude, they were around the corner from where I was living in Long Island City. They just turned. I think they just appropriated this hotel, and they just everybody was living there. It was great. They installed.
I'm sure it was fine. There's
metal
no crime or
detectors,
anything.
dude. Yeah, no, it was fine.
Yeah.
Well, the metal detectors keep.
Yeah, COVID
Everything
out.
good.
You gotta rip,
Nobody
you
got
gotta rip
COVID.
the walls out of those places after that's done. They're so ruined.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's just evidence
You
everywhere.
can't get crystal meth out of the walls.
They should just cross match it with rape kits after everybody moves out, and then they might find like 10 or 12.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was a wild time to be here.
Yeah, but it's it's not here is not as I feel like I don't know. It's not as bad as it's talked about on the news. I will say that. Like I feel like
Same thing in LA. I mean, it is and it isn't. Like you can not be a part of it, and there's still plenty that's good. Although apparently fucking people are getting jacked in Beverly Hills, but that's also because they're dumb. They are dumb fucking people who are used to walking around with millions of dollars on them and thinking nothing of it.
Yeah.
And I just see people and I go, why would you ever wear something that's $40,000 on you and take it out anywhere?
You know what? You're not. It depends on where you are, though, in the city. If you go to anywhere near Penn Station, that whole area is like a refugee camp.
The Mecca.
Oh, nice. I just came through there. I'm glad I didn't go street level.
Be careful. It is a disaster over there.
Yeah, they're in Times Square. I try to fit in now. I started jumping the turnstile. I've been jumping the turnstile for about the last month.
The legs, they show it.
Thank you, dude.
You slimmed up. You can
know?
get those ups.
Dude, it's the first time I did it, I wasn't nervous about getting in trouble. I was nervous about physically being able to do it. Because one time I jumped the turnstile with Artie, and I'd never done it before, and the train was coming, and it wasn't time to like get. You know, you didn't have time to like get everything out of your wallet and like swipe the card. So he just jumped and he was like, jump. And then I was like, I tried to do it, dude. And I just like, my legs hit it and it just folded. It kept rolling back.
Oh, that's so. I wish I had that on
Dude,
tape.
people are watching. And then I tried to scan my card and it wasn't working. And I started yelling at the guy to open the gate for me. He just opened the gate.
This is like a coming of age movie.
Oh, it was so bad. So then I had to practice. I had to learn how to do it in one of the...
You built your own turnstile at
Do
home.
you literally jump over, or do you do the slide?
What is the slide?
You like push it back and then you slide through. That's the real New York way to do it.
No, so
You
the
like
way...
bend it back a little.
I don't
so
think
it
he's got
looks
the
like,
sliding physique.
I don't.
He's
I
not there.
appreciate
He's not
that.
at the slide, yeah.
Thank you, but
Do you do
lucky
hands on the side? Because some have the bar up above.
I don't do bar because also you never know if it's going to be sharp up there. Cut your hand or something. So I put one hand on each side, and I just kind of like jump over, and then I put my foot. Like I get it over the bar and I use my left foot on like that landing. I like kind of put my foot on the left side.
You don't just do a one hop.
No.
You'll get there.
Thank you, dude. You've been jumping since you've been back in New York?
No, I just took it from Grand Central 2 year. So
I have noticed though. I've never been a criminal in that sense. But now jumping the turnstile has definitely influenced my brain into, like, I was in CVS the other day. I'd never been a stealer. I've never stolen anything. I'm always like, but I was walking around and I needed batteries, and it crossed my mind. I go, why wouldn't I just take these? And then I paid for them and left. But still, I was like,
Well, I will say batteries, the more high-ticketed items might have a beep-beep thing on them.
Yeah.
And the key is you don't steal, you shoplift, and that is where you buy something and take something.
Oh.
Once you get in that checkout line, like 90% of suspicion is cut off.
That's smart. That's the okay.
Well, okay, we're white, so 90% of suspicion is cut off once you walk in the door. Then from that other 10%, 90% is cut off.
I never. So you're a big shoplifter?
No, I would say that my first couple of years in LA, though, I was riding a bike, didn't have a car, and would take the metro. There is a subway in LA, and luckily there is, because LA is super spread out, but you can take your bike on it and pretty much get anywhere from one of the train stops. Everything's within like a mile or two.
That's good.
So I'd ride the bike, and I never paid for that. They don't even have the turnstiles. They have those fucking sliding doors, and you can just, or no, they're not even sliding doors. They're like little gray fucking things that come up like that, and you can just like squeeze through them. And I would just pick my bike up, and they're just happy to have anybody on there. Almost nobody rides it.
I didn't even know. I thought the LA subway like stopped running years ago. I didn't even.
No, they've expanded. They're still expanding it, but it goes nowhere. Nothing is like within walking distance of a train stop. Like no big, apartment buildings or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because unlike here, LA, instead of having buildings all together, they have space, and it's nice. It's just a different way to try something.
Yeah. So, you were in, because we know each other from Boston, and then you went to LA. One thing I wanted to talk about, because I know you're a big travel guy. When you went to LA, I don't know if you want to talk about this at all, if there's anything fun.
Don't bring it up.
I'm sorry. You said not to bring it up before the pod, and I did. No, you and your lady. Oh, you're married now, right?
Yeah.
Your wife.
Married.
And you have a kid.
Yep.
Very exciting, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys renovated a bus and drove out to LA, and I feel like you guys were like. I feel like now everybody does that on TikTok during the pandemic. It was huge. It led to that murder of that lady.
Gabby Petito, shout out.
Exactly. We'll be banned for that. You just can't mention.
Think so?
No, probably not. But
Brian Laundrie pulling for you, buddy.
Dude, I think he's in a cave somewhere. But you guys renovated that bus, super cool, like a huge fucking bus, and drove it out to LA, right?
Yeah.
And like drove all around the country.
Yeah, we did a year in the bus. It was not super huge. It was the shortest bus you can find. It was and
that's right. Okay.
It was a short bus, but I mean, it was a like a small RV. But yeah, we were the fucking Petito Laundry before they were. The woman I'm dating actually knew I murdered my wife in the middle of Utah, and found another Jewish woman just like her, and
took the same name.
And just kept the passport and everything. And let me guess, there she is now.
So do you still have the van?
We don't. We sold it right before the pandemic, which was lucky at the time. We had been paying for it to be stored for about a year or two, and then pandemic hit, and we were like, nobody is going to want to come and look at this thing or buy it. For like the first 3 months, we were right, but then like summer hit, and everybody was trying to get RVs and do van conversions, and we probably could have sold it for double the amount.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but we did all right. We bought it for $4,000 and put like $7,000 into the build, and then sold it for $6,000. So we lived for a year for, what's the difference there? $5,000 for
that's pretty
housing
good
for a year plus gas.
Yeah, that's great, dude. And you guys went all over the country?
Most of the places. We went down the whole East Coast to all the way to Key West, and then back through the South and Texas, and the Southwest, and then up the West Coast, and back into like Montana, and then down to Colorado and Utah and shit. And then back to LA.
What's the coolest thing about being on the road for a year? like
committing
living
crimes and just watching that state border fly by, knowing what you buried there. No,
the coolest thing and the most like unexpected worst thing about doing that kind of stuff.
I mean, the worst thing I would have to say, getting murdered. Shout out Gabby.
Now we're definitely getting banned.
I have my own thoughts on her. As a fellow van lifer, she, yeah.
She was asking for it? Is that where you're getting at?
Jesus Christ.
Not asking for it, but I'm not saying she wouldn't be down with it. She went from like 1,200 followers to like 3 million, and she is trying to be an influencer. She's got to be like, oh, murder. How can I, like, this is, maybe I get fake murder. You can still follow her Instagram. Follow it. It's the only one where every picture is taken by the person's murderer. It is so great.
That's crazy.
To scroll through and see.
I never even thought about
Yeah,
that.
around Utah, she sees it.
Jeez, that's brutal.
I think I got blocked from her account, but anybody else can go follow.
What are you commenting on the accounts?
Who's running her account now?
Jesus Christ!
That's the
It
real
was
thing.
Brian for a bit, and then
Now it's his family.
Yeah, his parents.
much,
they
dude.
won it in the court case.
Yikes, dude.
Oh, that's
Brutal.
awful.
3 million followers. That's make a living.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. Is there a family? I don't fucking know. Tragic situation. She was not in the wrong at all.
They were
you know,
both
all jokes
Italians
aside.
from Long Island. It was a mob hit.
Might have been.
Petito's Laundry. Mr. Laundry took out Miss Petito.
It does sound like Laundry. Brian Laundry sounds like a guy who snitched on the mob and then moved to Florida
And made a fake name.
It does sound like
I'm
a
a
fake
Brian Laundry.
machine. No, let's drop the machine part. Let's just do laundry.
Lavaderia.
So yeah, what was like because I imagine it would be very difficult for me, like, because can you shit on the bus?
We did have we had
one of the things.
A composting toilet.
Okay, that would in my mind be like the worst thing, but like something that like you don't think about until you're in it and you're like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, that would be incredibly short-sighted if you built a
Well, yeah, no. But was there anything like that you wouldn't think about until you're like in it and you're like, oh, fuck, we should have did this different?
We had to get immediately. We thought we could get away without AC because of the trip we were taking.
Oof.
We were leaving in like September, going down the East Coast and then through the South for the winter and stuff. And so we thought we would kind of catch every season right. And our first stop was in like Pennsylvania and then maybe Virginia. And it was just way too fucking hot still in like September in Virginia. So we had to get this AC unit. We broke down, had to get a new transmission in Arizona. That sucked. We got this new transmission. We rented an RV because I had shows in San Diego, and my wife was flying. She was flying back to Connecticut from Phoenix, and then flying back into San Diego. And so I had to go meet her there. We rented an RV and left the bus in Phoenix to get a new transmission. Drove to San Diego, did a couple shows, met with my wife, and then our bus was ready. She stayed at a hotel. I drove back, and on a border crossing, even though you don't go over a border, they took all fucking weed I had that I had just bought in California.
Are you serious?
From getting, after months of not being in a legal weed state. And, it was like 3 border guys, which I want to, now that I see all those fucking videos, those, First Amendment auditors and shit, I just want to be like, am I being detained? They'd probably just be like, yes, you are.
Yeah, we're going to beat the hell out of you.
But, funny thing is, 3 guys, all Mexican. I'm sure they're citizens, but
they're enforcing the law.
they were
and,
all Border
I'm okay
Patrol,
with that.
all Mexican dudes, and they're like, pull this white boy over. And
I'm pretty sure that you just got robbed.
They do
dude.
that on purpose.
Possibly.
A lot of times they use they're not citizens. I seen a guy because he actually did what you said. He did the am I being detained? But he was like a pastor, and they're like, yeah, they broke the window out, and they start hitting him with the taser, and like someone taped it, so then they counted like, dude, you can't give a guy 35 seconds of tasing while stomping him out. But when they looked into it, and he brought them to court and sued the shit out of them, they used illegals because they started asking the guy about rules, and he's like, oh, I don't know about they don't care. They don't ever. They're not gonna be like, hey, this guy has an amendment. They don't know about the rights, so they'll do what they're told. Some guy. Most of those border guys are probably, even if they're American, they're probably jerks. They like beating people up. But there might be one or two like, yo, I can't, strip search this lady like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But those guys will do whatever they want, whatever you want them to do.
To be fair, these dudes look, like they're Latino, Mexican, but, grew up in America, probably voted for Trump. Like, living in L.A., there are a lot of Mexican Trump supporter, Republican type. Like, they have no fucking problem with it.
Yeah, they don't want it. Well, a lot of them come here. They're like, yeah, we don't want it to become Mexico. Like, when I used to live in San Diego, I used to go down to Tijuana, and that place is pretty much lawless. Like, you get robbed by the cops. The cops are they are the cartel.
And the only thing that keeps San Diego okay, there are parts that are not bad, but San Diego is a pretty nice city, is the military bases.
Oh, yeah.
If it were swapped in L.A., the fucking mentality of L.A. was in San Diego, Tijuana would have swarmed it by now.
Yeah, you can just, when I was there, you could you get anything. You just go across the border, fill up a bag full of pills, cigarettes, dynamite, whatever you needed.
Like a good prison.
Yeah, it was wild, dude.
What's the craziest thing you brought across the border?
Well, I used to drink back then, so I went down there, and that wasn't like
a 15-year-old.
I didn't do pills. I wasn't into pills, but when I was blacked out, I'd do whatever. And the guys I were into pills.
Yeah.
So they bought a ton of pills. I just started taking pills. And I didn't remember what happened. I woke up in my apartment complex, kind of like a Melrose Place type thing, and I go outside.
I remember this episode.
Yeah, everything's blown up, like all the palm tree things. And I go to my roommate. I go, dude, what happened here? They're like, you happened here. And I went in my room. I went in my pants. I had a knife. I had 2 bottles of pills, and I had quarter sticks of dynamite.
Nice.
And total blackout. Don't remember anything. They're like, do you remember that you smuggled stuff for people at the border? Like some guy luckily he was just smuggling cigarettes. My cousin almost kicked my ass. He's like, dude, that could have been heroin bricks. You were out of your mind smuggling cigarettes for people.
Holy shit.
But yeah, you can get a lot of trouble down there really quickly. Because some Americans really underestimate that they don't give a shit about you down there. They will throw you in a gutter.
Yeah.
You're a nobody down there.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
True capitalism. Yeah. I love it.
They had spray-painted donkeys on the beach. I remember just seeing that. I'm like, who is this for? Who is into this?
Just spray painting the donkeys?
Yeah,
What
they
is
make
that?
them look like zebras.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I don't know what
That's
cultural...
Ingenuity.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Well, who's going to come see a donkey? People might come see zebras.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. That's crazy.
But Tijuana was
or they're like, it's not a mule, it's a zebra.
Have you ever been to Tijuana?
No, godforsaken place. I'll never go there.
Never been either. I thought that
I would go plenty of places further south in Mexico, and
Yeah, I would love to have seen real
Sinaloa. Their cartel is a fun one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But no, I've only been out of the country to white places.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I've not traveled. I've gone Canada and parts of Europe. That's pretty much all. Oh, Bahamas. That's barely. Barely out of.
I
this
think
country.
if you stay on the resort, that doesn't count.
No, you have to drive through the village to get to the resort.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's hilarious, dude. That's surprising, though. I would expect that you would be a world traveler.
Yeah, because the only thing I traveled for, when we did the bus, we stayed in the country the whole time, and I used to compete in skiing, so I went to Europe a few times for that, and would go to Canada and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that you were like a legit dude, like
too
skier.
legit, yeah. I was pretty good. I was competing, and I would say at the lower of the upper level.
Really?
At the bottom of the upper level.
Was it? Were you doing like this? Sounds like tricks or racing?
I was doing freestyle.
Freestyle. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck. So like X Games, like that kind of stuff.
Those are the goals. Yeah, I would do X Games qualifiers. Never got to the big game. And U.S. Open was the other big one at the time. Now it's an Olympic sport. It wasn't.
Yeah. Did you ever get hurt?
Severely, a few times.
What happened? What was a bad one? My brother got hurt pretty bad once snowboarding, and he was like not. But he had to get heli lifted off the mountain,
and he's
like
no longer with us.
No, he is, dude. Yeah, he went off this. It was like one of those like kinked rails where it's got like a point. It almost looks like a jump. And dude, it was literally the first run. They came up. I had been there for a few days with my aunt. They get there, and first run, he's like, "Let's go to the park." I ski, he snowboards. He hits this
real mountain rivalry.
Exactly, he's
going to show you how much cooler he is.
Johnny Tsunami action.
Oh, yeah.
And he hits this rail, and he like hit it kind of like a jump, not like a rail, and like flipped off and the backside of his board, he landed with his back down the mountain.
Yeah.
You know, so the back caught, and he just like whiplashed in his head.
Oh, yeah.
Like just smacked the snow, and
Out
he was
cold?
just laying there, and I went down, and I was like trying to I thought he was fucking with me, and he was just out cold, unconscious, and these kids come over who were like 12, and they start
Real
screaming.
badasses.
Oh yeah, dude, they were so helpful because I was like, trying to call for help, and then they started screaming. Safety patrol, like ski patrol, comes up. And then they called it right away, and then he got heli lifted. It was at Wyndham, so right up to Albany. And he ended up being fine, but yeah. Thank God.
This is upstate New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, they had to cut.
I like how you
everything
said
off
that,
of
like
him.
anybody had any fucking clue what you were talking about.
Wyndham Mountain? Yeah, you know.
No.
And then.
Never. The only place up there I've heard of is Whiteface.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wyndham Mountain is in Entourage. They're like, you can ski ice, you can ski anything.
Oh, yeah.
Where were you snowboarding when you were in Maine? Were you at like Jay's Peak? Was that the big one?
No, that's Vermont.
Okay.
I was at Sunday River.
Okay, cool.
Was my home mountain. I started at Shawnee Peak, which is a little mountain. I grew up right next to that. That's I wasn't rich or anything, but growing up next to the mountain, I got to be friends with rich kids, and I would say that definitely got me. And I was homeschooled for like 3 years, and pretty much all winter I just skied all the time. My parents
That's
didn't.
wild.
Yeah.
Was that homeschooled so that you could farm and ski?
No, it's because I was retarded. I was severely dyslexic, and the school was like, we're going to put him in special ed. And my parents were like, I don't think he's that bad. And so they took me out for 3 years and then brought me back, and they're like, he might be that bad. Because they didn't.
We tried everything we could.
They tried a little bit, but then eventually they were just like, you seem to really like this skiing thing. So why don't you just do that as much as you can?
That's so funny. So yeah, injuries. What's a bad one?
First real bad one was I want to say 16 or 17. I also got knocked out cold. Did your brother have a helmet on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no helmet on.
Oh, damn.
Half pipe contest. Landed coming down the wall and hit a patch of ice that sent one ski into the other, and I just went like that and whacked it. Woke up to ski patrol holding me down. Just apparently I'd been out for like 5 minutes and was convulsing and stuff. I was there, just me and my coach at the time, and didn't know what was going on. Dude, they told me take a fucking week off. Out for 5 minutes, knocked out cold. Now, like that would be like you're done for 2 years.
Yeah, they would be like never ski again.
Yeah, and now looking back and seeing what like some of the concussion stuff, long lasting, I was like, oh, I grew up with that my fucking whole life. Like that explains so much about things. And also anything I've said this so far, if you don't like it, fucking CTE victim, fuck yourself. And then I blew this knee out, and that's what stopped me competing when I was 19. Yeah, 19. I blew the knee out. Dude,
that is brutal. I blew up my knee playing rugby, and it sucks.
What'd you do? What?
I was playing. We were playing in a tournament junior year college. We were at this school, like in the middle of nowhere, upstate New York, and it's the last game of the tournament. They let me play like the quarterback position. It's called the scrum half, and there's a big pile, and I'm trying to pull the ball out with my foot, and I'm making sure that my back line's set up, right? So I look back, I take my eye off the ball, my foot's on it, and the ruck gets blown up, and literally it's just three guys, my heel caught in the grass, and three guys just fell on my knee, and it was just like crack, crack, crack.
Oh.
And just totally hyperextended. I was scared to look at it because it is weird though. I didn't feel any pain in the moment. Mm-hmm. I was just like terrified. I thought my shin had just shattered in half. Like that's what I thought. Luckily, it was just my knee, and it kind of went in, so it hit the in muscle, like the MCL there. Yeah. Which I guess is the only one that if it doesn't completely tear, you don't need surgery for.
It'll heal itself.
It's the only one that'll heal itself. So I got really lucky. Didn't do my ACL, didn't do the outside PCL, I think. It was just the inside, and fucking nice. I was on crutches for a couple months, and that's it. And then I just walked with like a leg brace. I got pictures, dude. I got pictures of me just like wasted in the spring at college junior year, walking around in this leg brace, just like in a tank top, just drinking beers.
I definitely got fucked up after doing mine. I had tore the ACL, the meniscus, and took a big chunk of cartilage off the bottom of my femur.
Oof. Ooh.
And they had to like drill into the bone to get it to, bleed and heal again. Because I overshot a jump by like 40 feet and just dropped out of the air, probably about 40 or 50, not 50 feet, probably about 30 or 40 feet, just a flat. And this one just blew up. Luckily, I was at 19. I think if I did that now, I would fucking break every fucking
never
bone.
Walk again. Yeah. That was the other thing too. I split the tibial plateau, that like bone that sits between, and that cracked. Dude, I didn't.
That's
even go
where
to
the rivers break and go to either side.
Exactly. Yeah. I didn't even go to the hospital that night. I remember that, dude.
Oh, I didn't go for a week. I didn't have health insurance. I went home. And I had a ski patrol. I lived with this 60-year-old ski patrol dude at the Little Mountain. This was at Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Yeah. And he like checked it out and did the little like ACL test. And he's like, yeah, that's fucked up. Bought a knee brace at CVS, fucking chucked that thing on there, used a ski pole as a crutch. Did that for a week until I had deferred from college for a year. So I called the college and said, I'm going. Got the letter from them to my parents' house. My dad was able to put me back on his health insurance. And then it's been 18 years. That's good for insurance fraud, right?
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Fine, I think. It's not fraud.
You used to be a lawyer, right?
I'm still a lawyer, technically.
They haven't debarred you yet?
No, I've actually been barred in more states now since the last time you knew me. Yeah.
Thanks, Biden.
Dude, and that's not fraud. You went to school and
Yeah, but then I went in
the insurance.
And said, once I got the insurance, I went in the hospital and it was like, happened today. And they were like, really? It's fucking really
like
swollen.
Half healed wrong.
Oh yeah, dude. Dude, I went in. I remember I rode the bus. It was hurting, and we had like a 3-hour ride back to the school. And I remember my coach was like, "Do you want to go to the hospital here or closer to school?" And I was like, I want to do the bus ride. Because we would drink on the bus. We would have a lot of fun. So I'm drinking on the bus. My leg's just like up. I get back and now I'm a little drunk. My girlfriend at the time comes to the bus with her car to take me to the hospital. And I'm like, no, there's a party. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't miss the party. She was pissed. And then the next morning I called her because I woke up in my bed and it was I was hungover and my knee was the size of a basketball. It was just like, and I was like, hey, do you think you could bring me to the hospital now? I think I made a mistake. And yeah, it ended up being fine though.
You get some good painkillers?
No, I didn't take them. They gave them to me. I didn't take them.
Pussy.
I know, dude. I know. That's the thing, dude. I've talked to anyone who listens to the pod knows how much of a pussy I am with drugs and all that stuff. Are you a big drug guy? Well, you smoke weed.
Yeah. No, I mean, that led to I would say, good 2 years of doing every drug. Not indirectly that led. So I came back, had to move back home, had surgery, and then from there moved to Portland and started dating a girl who went to art school. There's a lot of drugs there. So I did a lot of drugs for the next couple of years, just having fun, figuring out, what I was going to do, and then went to college after that.
Okay. What's
yeah, that was the thing. I even lied. I didn't even go to college after getting on the insurance, and then I didn't go. No.
So what kind of drugs? Like mushrooms, speed?
Sure.
Acid?
Yep.
Like that? Oh,
shit.
Shit.
I pretty much everything but heroin, I'd say. I did even crack. Tried that.
Really?
Tried that once.
What was that like?
It was like, I don't know. People who are into crack, I think, are real drug addicts.
Yeah.
Because it is the immediate hit of doing coke and then just a way quicker, like, I'm not on coke anymore. Opposed to just do coke and you're like, you're up for an hour or so and you're fucking feeling her. If it's your first time, maybe a little longer. But yeah, it was just, I smoked it and I fucking threw up immediately. Just like without warning, just blah.
Fuck.
And I was like, I gotta get better. And I took another hit and threw up immediately again. And I was like, I don't need to try this anymore, and just stuck to the coke.
Did you, how did you get it? Did someone get it for you? Did you have to go
You looking
yourself?
for names?
No,
you still a fucking DA? Is this all a setup?
No, I can't imagine. I think it's a hilarious story. I mean, to be like, I don't even know where you would get crack. Like, I imagine you got to go to a house. From the guy who has
coke. From the guy who has coke.
Oh, that man. Yeah, give me his name.
Any guy who has coke also has crack. Little inside secret of the game. If they have coke, they have crack. Because you can cook coke into crack fairly easily, and they probably do, and they probably sell people who want crack instead of coke.
Yeah, Mike knows all about that. They used to cook it on the steps of his apartment building.
Yeah, but I mean, I had a buddy one time where I went over, and I don't remember why, but we met up with like a person we didn't hang out with in high school. But you're older and you're more mature, and we're like, we're having a couple drinks. They're like, oh, these guys seem fun now. We're not scared of these guys anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember this girl came back to this. That's actually a Jake story. Went back to Jake's house, and he had one of his crackhead friends that he like worked construction with. And he's like, yeah, man. And this kid just starts. He's like, yeah, I'm the chef. And he goes in the kitchen, and he just cooks up crack.
Spells it chief, but yeah.
And the two of them, there's a girl that we know from high school, hasn't seen us since high school, and these two psychos are passing this crack bong, and they're yammering. Like, you know what I mean? They're into crack. They love, this guy does a lot of crack. I just remember I never felt
they got a good session going.
Yeah.
Just, well, we're going to fucking get through life's
so
problems.
Embarrassed. I didn't smoke crack. I wasn't involved. I was just drinking. But I remember the girl looked at her friend, and she gave her a look, and they didn't say bye. They just ran out the front door.
Can you? That's just, you haven't seen this girl since high school, and then she's just like, oh, let's give him another chance. We never connected. Let's try it again. And it's like, oh yeah.
It was like an after-school
Now
special.
I
Like,
know.
that's what those guys do. They're going to be smoking crack and yelling in your... And they're literally...
I think I had a few instances in that couple of years where I had old friends from high school come to my place, and then they were like, you're doing good.
Yeah. They don't even say goodbye.
We'll see you later. Have you ever been arrested?
No. No.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. There was only one cop in the town I grew up in. If anything, I would have got arrested for a lot of shit I did growing up, but it was just such a small town. He got away with a lot of shit.
Did you get used to get in trouble growing up?
Only a few times real bad, but we also did shit that we didn't get in trouble for a lot, but that would be like, severe penalties if you actually got caught for that shit.
What kind of stuff?
Like just one time we broke out every window in a historic schoolhouse. The owner, the guy whose land it was on, found out that he had called the cops. The cops came, and then he found out it was us, and one of the kids we were with was the neighbor of the guy. Mm-hmm. And then he just told the cops, like, oh, I guess you can't find him. And then he had a meeting with our parents, and we had to pay the insurance premium.
Wow.
And it got
That's a nice
another
way to
one
do
I got
it.
over on in the insurance company. Because, dude, if they knew he knew who did it, like, they wouldn't pay that shit. They would have made us fucking pay that in a heartbeat.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, they wouldn't pay it. It would have been like, in a historic building, those windows are so expensive.
Oh, yeah, I think they were like the original windows.
Yeah. It's like you can't replace windows from 1785.
I think it was mid 1800s, like 1850. And our friend who lived across the street just lied to us and was like, it's an old building. Nobody cares about it. Turns out it's a main historic site. And I remember we had BB guns, so we started shooting them out, and then we ran out of BBs and just started going up with the butts of the guns and just breaking them.
Dude.
And then as we were walking away, I looked back, and up in the fucking pitch of the roof, there's one little circle window. I was like, we forgot one, boys. And I took a fucking rock. First throw, got it up there and nailed it out. I was like, all right, job well done.
No.
We can go home now. And then a week later, my buddy calls me, and he's like, the cops are there. The cops are there.
Dude, that's terrifying. I've broken things on accident, and I've been horrified when I was younger. Yeah, I remember we used to do this game when I was a kid. It's we used to do this thing where this lady that we didn't like, she used to park her car on the street, and we used to take a football and throw it back and forth and just intentionally overthrow.
Yeah.
And then you would and then just nail this lady's car, and it was just like dings and dents. And I feel bad about it still, dude. I still feel bad. I remember she was kind of older now. I mean, she's dead now, but
you guys finally killed
You
her,
forgot
didn't
her
you?
that one time. Just
yeah, she came out and just the ball just right in the head, dude.
like that falling thing. If I did that on skis now, by the time your age, it would just liquefy you, or you were that old lady's age. I realized that falling, how far away death is gets closer and closer until it's just eventually the ground.
Yeah, dude. I mean, think about that. When we were kids, you fall all the time. I haven't fallen. Like, once you hit a certain age, if you fall, it's like a thing.
Oh, yeah. And
there's even like in your 30s, if you fall down, it's just like, is that guy okay?
Like that Biden bike thing was a near-death experience for him.
Oh, I'm surprised. I don't know how he didn't break anything.
I don't know.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That seemed like I think something like that took out my grandmother's hip.
Yeah.
She wasn't riding a bike, but just that kind of fall, that old person fall where it's just like they're a door coming off the hinges.
The big mistake with that is they gave him toe clips. Like, there's no need for the toe clips for this guy. He's not going.
It's going 20 feet.
If anything, training wheels.
Yeah, training wheels. I can't believe they even let this whole thing get out there.
Dude, this is off topic, but I just thought I saw the funniest thing yesterday, and it's only $10 on Amazon. It's a portrait of Trump in the White House with the silhouette of Angel Jesus having his hands on his shoulders, and it is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Nice.
And I kept wanting to tell Mike about it, and I kept forgetting.
Well, they renamed that site Let's Go Brandon Falls on Google Maps.
Is it really?
Yeah, now drunk like frat guys, they all like reenact it, but they like chug, like a huge bottle of booze, and then they fall on their head. It's so stupid, but it's like a thing now. It's like a TikTok trend.
It's brought a lot of commerce to the area.
Yeah, wherever the hell that. Where was that? Where did that happen?
It's Delaware, man.
Okay, oh yeah, Delaware.
Hometown.
Yeah, Scranton, Delaware, hometown.
Come on, man.
Where he got cancer?
Yeah, I'm from Maryland, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, the other day on live television, he just goes, "Yeah, man, I have cancer."
Yeah, everybody goes, "What?
What?"
Yeah, he was just, how he just says stuff, and then his like handlers, they're like, "Yeah, he didn't mean it like that. That was another thing."
Wait, he said that he has cancer?
Yeah.
Does he really?
He said that everyone in his hometown had got cancer from like the oil companies.
Jeez.
Yeah, but they retracted it. But he never retracts it, which I don't appreciate. Yeah. Like, they don't have him do it. They just do it for him. And he's in the background like, no, I really got it. I got the fucking cancer.
Or they're like, you said this. And he's like, oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
No, I never said it.
God, dude.
Which he is being honest there. He does not remember saying that.
My dad's one of those guys who has a theory about him. And it actually I just found out it's true. So now I owe
He's
him
the
an apology.
corpse of John McCain?
No. He's always like, oh, look at him. They got him doped up today. He's all hyped up. You see that run he did? They got him doped up. And someone told me like a story I was watching on YouTube.
Adderall.
Yeah. And they were like, he has a pill he gets 1 hour before.
Yeah.
He'll be like brain dead.
It's
You know what I mean?
Vyvanse.
Like, yeah, I don't know what it is. That's what it is?
No, I don't. Those are just fucking, that's a
Boner
generic
pills?
Adderall.
I thought it was
Vyvanse.
some sort of a boner Adderall combination.
No, they're not going to give that guy a fucking boner. He's already touching kids. You don't want to give
hair, licking earlobes. He's out of control. The Easter Bunny, when they took him away, was my favorite. The CIA Easter Bunny, he was like talking to kids, like, "Get him out of here, get him away."
Have you seen the one where it's a voiceover of the Secret Service, and he's just like, "All right, right turn in 5, 4, 3, 2." And he's blown past the turn.
The eagle has blown past the mark, and he eventually walks into the bushes.
It's so fucking funny.
I don't know who's funnier, him or Trump.
They're both hilarious.
Every week, because it's like almost every day you turn it on, you're like, there's no way there's another blooper out today. Blooper right off the bat.
Both of them. The last 8 years, the last 6 years has just been pure comedy.
That's why
we can't go back to like a normal person after this. That's like just doing facts and like business shit. We're like, dude, what is this crap?
You imagine how many stains are all over the Oval Office by now?
Oh, gross.
just from dropping shit too, or fucking Trump in there throwing shit. I bet he would just put like a KFC chicken like on the carpet.
Oh yeah, man,
you had Clinton stains, and then you have Trump stains, which is probably just fast food.
Yeah, and
then it's just Biden stains. It's just dribbles of like ice cream out of his mouth.
Like I don't know how medically Trump can eat the way he does at his age. I'm way under half his age, and I could not eat McDonald's on the regular.
It's holding him together at this point. He is
Chemicals.
Mostly the jelly, the gelatinous,
It is all preservative, so maybe you just can't.
It's preserving.
You can't die.
Yeah, it's
Your
preserving
body's like,
very well.
My body can't rot. It's so loaded with preservatives.
And he does have a point in that way of like, if he tries to exercise, it'll kill him.
Is that what he said?
He thinks of his body like a battery. He's like, you only have so much energy. Don't waste it fucking exercising. And I think for him, he's correct.
That is actually a hilarious point.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? I'm at an age where I've survived this long without exercising.
He's probably like Idi Amin, where he's like, I know the day I'm going to die. I was told it at 7, and I know exactly when it is.
It's crazy that they're both 80 years old. That's insane.
Yeah. I have a idea.
Okay.
Next ticket, Biden, Trump. They run
together.
Yeah. It's like grumpy old men. They could do it 2 more terms each. So we could get another 8 years out of the 2 of them.
We go Biden, Trump, Trump, Biden.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Get Hunter in as somehow he's in the cabinet. I actually like
Secretary of State.
I find Hunter to be like he's like a modern day James Bond. He's like an international man of intrigue.
I was going to say, what's his name? Roger Clinton. But yeah.
Yeah, he's making deals everywhere.
Maybe he's a CIA asset and we just have no idea.
Oh, they got him. I don't know if he wanted to be, but he sure is now.
Yeah, he is.
He is compromised.
Speaking of crack, he is like a real deal crack.
Yeah, I never did fucking
27 grams or
Hunter
whatever
numbers.
he had.
That's good to know that you took 2 hits, but you were nowhere near close to Hunter Biden crack numbers.
My favorite one of his videos that he has is he's on a crack binge, and one of the prostitutes made him go for a walk.
Allegedly.
Yeah, and he's on camera, and he's wearing like a Ronald Reagan NASA jacket. And he's just, he's like, he is, when you're that coked up, like he really thinks he's on some sort of a mission. He's just at the beach, sweating profusely. And then you look down, he has nothing on but a bomber jacket. He has no pants on. He's at the beach. He thinks he's in some sort of, he's like hustling around. You're like, dude, this guy is butt naked at the beach, just running around. Like he's I just love it.
Freedom. That's life. That's living right there. Fuck your brother, your dead veteran brother's wife.
Now that's a movie I would watch, dude. The Hunter Biden movie would be wild.
Yeah.
Like it starts out with him on a crack binge.
Who would play him?
I don't know, but then it'll, like
Chris Evans.
His girlfriend or a wife or whatever, like took his gun. Because he's in a crack binge, he's got his dick out, and she took his gun and they like throw it behind an elementary school dumpster. It's just a wild ride.
Because they were at an elementary school.
Yeah. Hunt's like, I'm out of my mind. It's time to go hit the school.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Why are you at an elementary school?
I say he plays himself. At this point, he should go into Hollywood.
Yeah, we don't see enough of him.
He's on the camera a lot.
That's the one thing I don't like about this presidency. They should have Hunter like once a week. I just want to see him involved.
Yeah, we get a lot of celebrities to politics, actors to politicians. I need to reverse politicians to actors.
He's the most elusive TikTok star there is.
He could be the first guy.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Were you a big fighter growing up? Did you get into fights?
No, not a lot.
Me neither.
A few here and there, but except with, I had 2 older brothers, so fight, get the shit beat out of me a lot by them. But I think because of that, everybody like that I went to school with and stuff, I was probably too much of a problem for somebody to really try and bully.
I mean, yeah, if you have a skateboard in middle school, high school, I mean, nobody's going to mess with that guy because they're trouble.
Yeah, there was that. I was just cool, I had dreadlocks. I was the cool kid in high school.
Did you really?
I had dreadlocks my
you
senior year.
and Jack Burke, dude.
Oh, yeah, but I wasn't. He's...
he had dreadlocks for a long time, dude.
Dreadlocks and glasses is not a good look.
I can't believe he had glasses.
Former guest, Jack Burke.
Right now on this show. I can't believe that.
We talked about it when he was on the show.
I must have thought you guys were kidding.
He was talking about it in high school. Dude, you got to see his license photo.
I can't believe that.
It's him with like these like nerd glasses and then like long dreadlocks. Like,
but it's all like a rat's nest here, and they start like out a little bit.
If you're going with the dreads, you're gonna lose the glasses. You're going for a new look.
Man, lose the glasses.
Yeah. Rastafarians don't wear glasses, bro.
And then I think when he lived in Jamaica, he got rid of the dreads before he went to Jamaica.
Because they probably
good call. Him. Yeah,
good call. Yeah.
Each one of those dreads was worth a bounty in Jamaica.
Yeah. Dude, some of those guys take that real serious. The Rastafarians?
Yeah.
No, I think they're pretty laid back guys.
I don't know, man.
Jamaica is not like it's depicted in the music. It is.
I heard that Bob Marley is actually, he was like a really bad guy. Like kind of a, he used to like beat his wife. I might just be talking out of my ass right now, but that's what I heard. I remember hearing something where he was kind of like very like strict and like abusive to his family. And they paint this picture that he was just like laid back.
Yeah. Well, first off, different time.
If it's wrong, if this is totally wrong information, I retract it. But I remember hearing something about that.
2 things have come out of Jamaica: reggae and brap, the automatopoeia for gunfire. That's
is that really from? That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
No, there's a military faction in Jamaica too, like real hardcore dudes.
Yeah, militant. It's constant civil war.
Yeah.
Over there. Like they have resorts, and then they're like, do not go off the resort. Although, I mean, people live, I think it's not like Syria type fighting, but it's not necessarily a fun place to grow up. I've never been, and I know little about it, but I will speak on it.
That's what we like on the pod here.
Nice.
Knowing very little, but talking a lot.
I think that, and then I'll talk with somebody from someplace, and I'll say a bunch of shit, and they're like, you're not far off.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Like, I can tell you a lot about Armenia, never having been there.
We typically cover the Armenian genocide once an episode here.
Oh, nice.
On the pod.
So
we don't.
I have okay, let me tell you. Do you know this about coyotes?
I don't.
Coyotes only used to be in the American Southwest. They and northern Mexico. Then when it started getting settled by white people, they started having ranches and stuff there. They wanted to eradicate them, and so they tried trapping and poisoning them. But they are a pack animal that, when put under threat, will become a solo animal and just run.
Oh, wow.
And they'll run away from the threat, become a solo animal, and the females will go from having 3 to 4 pups to like 6 to 7 pups per litter, just to create more of them. And now, because they tried to eradicate them there are coyotes all the way into Maine, into Canada, everywhere. There's fucking coyotes in Central Park, apparently. There's a coyote pack in Central Park.
Wow.
Before the Armenian genocide, there was 3 million Armenians only in Armenia. And then they killed 1.5, and now there's 8 million all over the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The only thing...
I think the coyote reference is going to get us in a little bit of trouble.
It's real offensive. I understand a point that you're trying to make, but I don't understand the point that you're trying to make.
You have to fuck your way out of a genocide. That is how you get out of a genocide. You fuck your way out. Jews know too. It's the idea of we replace those that are lost. It's the only way out, and Native Americans have not figured that out yet.
I thought you were going to say
You thought I was comparing them to dogs. I was a little bit, but in the best way possible.
It is an interesting analogy about how
you're going to get a message from the Young Turks after this, like, we'd like to have you as a news correspondent.
TYT, baby.
It was
Sinks, whatever his name is, Jink's sidekick.
No, I worked with a lot of Armenians in LA, and but it's a weird culture that is not out here. There's LA is the biggest diaspora of Armenians there.
They really do
in the world.
Stick together too, because they had some out where I lived in around Boston, and they were like real tight.
Yeah. Oh, there's a whole Glendale is the biggest community outside of Armenia, but also crazy. No smile whites is what I call them. They are.
Dude, I knew one Armenian dude in law school. Very scary guy. Never smiled, was never happy, and I was just like, when you said that, no smile whites, I was like, yeah, that's the only
they're a Christian
dude
country. They're the oldest Christian country, and they're like hill people. It's a community that's very enclosed by the Caucasus Mountains, and if it weren't for being invaded and stuff, there's a couple other, like the Azerbaijan, who they fucking hate, and they fight all the time. There was a civil war that started like beginning of the pandemic, and nobody's even talking about it now, but there's been constant fighting going on there this whole time. Or not a civil war, but a clash between Azerbaijan and Armenia.
I had no idea.
But like,
the more you know, folks.
There's like these pockets of hill, Russian white influence, people that you never hear about if it weren't for fucking strife that has caused them to be, spread out around the world.
I'm kind of dumb when it comes to geography and all that kind of like international cultures. Like, I had no idea that Kazakhstan was a real place. I thought it was made up for Borat until I was going out with this girl who was from Kazakhstan.
Another thing they don't talk about.
I told her I had no idea that it was real.
A year and a half ago, they were the first government to go down because they tried to freeze their citizens' assets about, maybe not even a year and a half ago, like 8 months ago. Yeah, they overthrew the government, and they talked about it for a minute, and then nobody has reported on what is going on in the second largest Asian country, except for if you don't count India, which is like a subcontinent, but it goes Kazakhstan, and then China. Maybe it's not second, maybe it's like third. It's huge though.
Yeah, I had no idea. It's very Russian influenced.
Yeah,
I had no idea it was way more like Russian than Asian, kind of. There's like a split.
It's
like
well, it was part of the USSR. It was it's a former Soviet state. But like as far as the influence genetically, it's a little more Asian, but very it's all Russian buildings, everything built in the 40s, 50s, and 60s and shit.
I forget the word. I remember this girl told me, she was like, there's like, if you like in Kazakhstan, they're super racist against people who like look more Russian.
Oh,
and I forget what they go. I forget what it's like. The word for it is like if you're a Kazakh.
Yeah.
It's like and I forget that if it means like you're
versus like Bolshevik or something.
Like she was telling me she dated this guy who the guy's mother was like, you can't marry her because she's like
a whore.
She's not Kazakh or whatever.
Yeah.
She's like more Russian looking than Kazakh looking.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy. That's just like culturally like not only accepted but pushed.
America's one of the only places that is trying to get rid of racism. Everywhere else in the world is like, we're doing just fine. It has kept us alive. Like a lot of places, racism is the reason the country is still there.
That's crazy.
Everywhere the Japanese tried to fucking take over, they were like, we will continue hating the Japanese because of what they did last time, and we're going to be on our fucking toes.
Yeah, I think Americans don't realize how racist other countries are, like certain Asian countries.
Africa. Every African country has racist thoughts towards other African countries and ideas. And again, they're like, yeah, well, we need that here. You know, and that's good that you guys do your thing. But
it is kind of funny, certain racisms when it's very specific about the culture. That'll get us canceled. But like where it's very specific, it's like not like the way you look, but it's like we're racist against that group because of that one thing they do.
Yeah.
We're gonna clip that part. Jesus Christ. So what's In-N-Out like? Is it as good as they say in LA?
It'd be great if it weren't for the Mexican. No.
I'm just trying so hard to move us away from this topic.
No, man, if it weren't for the Mexicans, that place would not fucking run at all.
Yeah.
Mexican teenagers too work there, and they keep it working. Like, it is one of the most efficiently run fucking restaurants you will ever, especially fast food restaurants you will ever go to for how busy it is.
And the uniforms are so tight.
Uniforms, I mean, some of the hats, you're like, I kind of want to get me one of those hats. Yeah.
It's kind of militant almost. You go in, you're like, look at how it reminds me a little bit of Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
You got that fundamental Christian, like,
Yep,
you go in, especially in New York, like, you go to BK, you're lucky if you can even get your order off without being, they're like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And you go to Chick-fil-A, they're like, seating you, you're like almost not ready for it.
Yeah. I've only had Chick-fil-A when I've done Uber Eats, and I've eaten some of the people's that I've delivered for.
That's so funny. Did you really?
Only the fries. I mean, everyone does it, dude. If you're getting Postmates, people are eating your food.
Yeah, they're eating your fries.
Wow.
Do you know, I think it's something like 80% of Postmates drivers work from home because they live in their cars. And so your food is going through their living room before it comes to your house.
That's crazy.
Yeah, every guy I know who delivers, they all tell me, like, oh, dude, I eat all of it. One guy he had a story. He was eating, like, he ate someone's like lo mein one time. He like took a scoop out of the lo mein.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Over the line. You can't mess with people's noodles.
Over the line, dude. It's
can't
all
be
over
using
the
utensils.
Line.
Or
Like
did he just go like
have
bare
like a little
hands?
bit of their soup. You're like, nah, I just took a couple sips out of your soup.
Yeah, it's just
But again, you're trash if you're getting soup delivered.
Yeah.
I don't, you deserve that.
I've definitely gotten soup delivered.
Case in point.
Hey, listen, it comes hot, stays hot. That's all that matters.
How long are you in town for?
Just I'm staying in Connecticut, but I'm just here for a few days till Tuesday, and then going up to Maine. Got a wedding, doing some shows, and then down to Boston doing some shows, and then back.
Nice.
Dope. Yeah.
How you feeling?
Me?
Yeah.
In general?
Yeah. We just hit an hour. We do about it's just checking in. We do about an hour.
Good. I got nothing. I'm fucking here killing the day. Gonna go see some shows tonight and see some friends.
Hell yeah. You have anything else you want to chat about? Any other stories you want to cover before we?
And plugs, Instagram, anything you're doing online.
Yeah, follow me on everything. It's just Handren Seavey, Handren Seavey. Our podcast I do with Kim McVicker called I Don't Want to Wait, where we watch rape. We watch every episode of Dawson's Creek, and we're on like season 4 now.
Did you just burp rape into the microphone?
Dude, it's just so funny. Do it whenever you can.
Okay.
People will never get mad because it's so like people who want to get mad are like, you burped.
Everyone else, that's the guest microphone too. We never change the covers.
Nice.
So,
And then I'm filming an hour special on August 27th at Third Wheel in Hollywood. So if any people out there are in LA or going to be in LA, come to that. And it'll be all over my Instagram and shit like that.
Hell yeah, that's great, dude. Well, thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. Michael, you want to give them the plugs?
Mike T. Kerrigan at Instagram.com or whatever. I always like to add a little something towards the end.
So bad at intros and so bad at plugs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm on TikTok too. I'm fucking 20,000 million likes, getting paid, taking over TikTok. So follow me.
Dylan Krasinski on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Nice.
Give us a follow. Sea Otter Town Hall is out every single Wednesday. Rate, review, and subscribe. If you're listening on audio, but yeah, like the clips and keep it going, baby.
Yeah, hit up those comment sections. We read every single one.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that next time, dude. There's been a guy who's been fucking trolling us on TikTok. He made like 6 different accounts the other day, and he just keeps commenting, being like making fun of Mike's hairline, saying I'm the least funny guy on every podcast, which cuts right to the bone because it is accurate.
And this is probably a 12-year-old Puerto Rican kid.
I know. It's either one of our enemies or just a random person.
Either way,
but I keep thinking, I'm like, I said, because I just keep deleting them and blocking them, but the guy made 7 accounts one day. And I was like, what sad kind of life is that guy living where he has time and energy to make 7 accounts?
Probably a good friend of yours who hates you secretly.
Yeah.
Might be. Yeah. Very possible.
You'll find out when he whispers it in your ear right before he slits your throat.
Oh, God. Well, thanks for...
guy.
Thanks for being here, dude. Go follow him on everything. And, dude.
Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah. We'll see you next week, baby. Good night.